This is Kayla Keith, and you're listening to Missing Midwest, a true crime podcast about those that have gone missing. Today's story is about a truck driver who disappeared on a late-night haul in Iowa. It has only been 3 months since David Schultz went missing, and someone knows something. Hello.
Hey.
What's up?
Hey, listen. It's the weekend. I'm happy that we survived Valentine's Day. My girl, 30 weeks pregnant, just absolutely dominated this week.
Yeah, I love Valentine's Day so much, but I never want to do it pregnant again, ever.
I'm very proud of you.
It was nuts.
Shout out and thank you.
Yes, thank you for sending your men to the Jefferson house. We had like record-breaking numbers this year.
Crushed it.
It was crazy. I made like 24 dozen roses and like 48 arrangements on just Monday, and I don't even know what I did on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's just a blur. Like
I took Wednesday off of school to go help. All my students were like bummed about it at first, but then I was like, I'm at the flower shop, like I have to. They're like on board. They're like, go get it, Mr. Keith. Like, so we had
it's
our
like
Valentine's
definition
party on
of
Thursday.
Family business because everyone comes. My kids, Truman, he's only 8, and he was like, I'll take the day off school and I'll run the cash register for you. I was like,
the minute you're 13,
joking, but when you turn 13, you're definitely doing that. Everyone will just know that my kids do not go to school on Valentine's Day because we're working at the flower shop. I said, what are you going to say? And he was like, I'll say 1 dozen roses, $20. I said, no, you won't. But it was fun. It's a good time. I love it. I always wear my, I always have a Halloween, pregnant brain, a Valentine cat shirt. I have a collection of them now, so I usually start wearing them on like
super hot
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I know you can't even control yourself when you see my Valentine cat shirt, can you?
Tough.
But this year I found one that looked like Cheddar, which you guys know who Cheddar is. I posted him on our social media. He's my special cat, and he.
When she says special, he has a lot of things that he needs help with.
When I say sidebar, Cheddar has a brain injury, and he actually is special. Like, he has some special needs now, and so his tongue is always out, and he can't jump on furniture, and so he can't get down, and so I have to carry him around and
he has
make
seizures
sure he
like
has
every
seizures
other day.
sometimes.
It's a whole thing. You can imagine how much I love this cat.
He just walks in circles, and he's the cutest thing I've ever seen, and I love him so much. And so this year I found...
We have to check to make sure he's alive on a daily basis. That picture that we posted, that's just like an everyday thing. We're just like, oh, crap, is he alive? And
that's not a lie. I look over and I'm like, is he breathing? Because like I don't know how he survives things.
Yeah.
He's got to be like on...
The boys think that he just got unlimited lives. Like
yeah,
instead of
like,
9
instead
lives,
of 9
like
lives,
Cheddar got them all. You got infinity lives.
He has to, because he just keeps... things happen.
We're talking about this cat too much.
I love Cheddar. He's so cute. But his tongue is always out, and that's like his signature look. And so I found a Halloween, why am I saying that? A Valentine cat shirt, and it had an orange cat on it with hearts everywhere. And so I painted his tongue sticking out on it because I was like, this isn't appropriate until his tongue's hanging out. So it was great. It was a great day. I wore my Valentine cat shirt, couldn't feel my feet, but didn't go into labor. So that's good.
Super good.
Want to know what one of the best decisions I have made for myself lately is? Stanley Cleaning Company. In this season of life we are in, with kids, practices, jobs, and pregnancy, it just makes sense to have a little extra help, and in turn, a little extra time. Christine comes to my house every other week and sweeps and mops for me, and I am not kidding when I say it is the best. She leaves my home smelling amazing and literally sparkling. We thrive in a clean environment as a family, and this service is the best thing I've ever spent my money on. It saves me time and energy, 2 things I'm greatly lacking lately. It can be a simple sweep and mop or a deep clean, home or office. It can be weekly or monthly. It's whatever you need. Plus, it's a local small biz, and you know I love supporting fellow business owners and entrepreneurs. Give her a call or text her and let her know what you want done. 765-860-3606.
I'm hyped to hear about this story because I know it's pretty recent, right?
Yep. So we're going to talk today about, like I said in the intro, David Schultz. He went missing the same month that Jared McCullough went missing.
Yep.
Jared McCullough went missing in,
Illinois,
Indiana. We don't really know. And then David went missing in Iowa. And I just remember watching both of those cases. And it was like, these like middle-ish aged men and their trucks just being found with them completely gone. So it was interesting. So I am going to talk about David Schultz today. So we are going to Sac County, Iowa.
That sounds like such an Iowa thing to say.
I know, right?
Over there in Sac County.
Yeah, it
No offense,
sounds rural, and let me just go into a little bit how rural we're getting here. Population's around 10,000. They have $1 general in the county.
Okay.
It is very rural western Iowa, and it's almost like Sac County is almost twice the size of Howard County, which is where we are in Indiana.
All our Kokomo listeners, you know.
Yeah, so, but it only has about 10% of the population of Howard. So, like, if you...
Like 10% of the population of Howard County?
Yes.
Wow.
So, for anybody around here from Kokomo, like, imagine if Greentown was the only people, but, like, spread out all over Howard County. Like, that's the population.
So, like, take away the city of Kokomo.
Yeah. Take away all of it, everything except Greentown, and spread it out, and that's Sac County. So, like, we're talking very rural. Lots of cornfields here.
I can't even imagine what that would look like.
I know.
It's like Indian times.
I know. I'm like, where do you, like, when you drive, how long do you drive before? And it's twice as big.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, how long before you see civilization?
Yeah. I mean, that's...
How long does it take you to get to your Dollar General? Because, like, 7 miles is annoying to me. So yeah. So David Schultz, who's 53, he's married. He has, two kids, twin 10-year-olds. Twin 10-year-olds.
There you go.
2 boys. And then his wife had a previous relationship, and she had 2 kids, and they were older. And they had kids of their own. And so his wife had grandkids, but like David called these kids his grandkids too. Like they were very close. He referred to them as his grandkids. Livestock and farming was his passion. He took a lot of pride in being the owner and the operator of his own livestock hauling, like, semi company. Like, he hauled livestock. That was his income. That's what he did. He owned his own semi, and he would haul livestock around. On November 20th of 2023, this past year, David was just doing another job. He had one. It was a pretty small job. He had a load of pigs, and he needed to pick them up at 10:30 p.m. in Eagle Grove, and he was going to bring them back to Sac County where he lived. He actually lived in, like, a really small town called Wall Lake. But
in Sac County?
It was in Sac. It was all in Sac County.
Got it.
But the distance between these 2 locations was like 85 miles. So it was like an hour and a half drive there, pick up some pigs, hour and a half drive home.
Okay.
I don't know why he had to pick them up at 10:30 at night. I don't know anything about livestock. Maybe that's when the pigs were awake. I don't know. But this was a route that he had ran frequently, like where he was picking up the livestock. It was like a livestock, a place that has livestock. And so he'd been there before since he hauled livestock.
Sure.
And so he knew the route. And so this wasn't the first time he'd been there to pick up pigs. Like, he'd picked up stuff there before. So he knew the way. He knew it was a short trip. It would only take about an hour and a half. It was at night. Again, no freaking clue why he had to pick them up at 10:30 in the night. Pigs, man. Who knows? But as you can imagine, it takes a little bit longer to drive a semi and haul livestock. So the whole trip was probably going to end up taking most of the night, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, for us, like our Jeep, it would take us like an hour and a half, but like the haul pigs would probably take
so like it was probably a little
hours.
longer. And then when you get there, like, you have to load the pigs, I'm assuming, and like, I don't know, he probably had paperwork he had to do, fill something out, I don't know. So an hour, it's like I said, 85 miles in a semi with pigs. I don't know what that ends up being, but it's about an hour and a half in a normal car. So Sarah, which was David's wife, she was not expecting to see her husband before she went to bed.
Sure. Probably not waiting up till 4 or whatever when he gets home, or 3 or whatever it would be.
Yeah. So she's like, you're not, I miss whatever time you're going to, be there. I don't know. I'm sure she was used to it. She would go to bed by herself.
Sure. Truck driver's
he left
wife.
at 10:30. Yeah, he left at 10:30, and she's like, he'll be gone, most of the night, I'm assuming, or home early the next morning. When she woke up, though, he wasn't home, which she was like, okay, it was supposed to be just an overnight trip. Like, he should have been there when he got home. Unless like the pigs got out and escaped, I would assume he would be back. Like, she called him, but he did not answer. And at 10 a.m., the man who David rents his trailers from knocked on her door. And he asked Sarah if she had talked to David, because he hadn't heard from him either. So now Sarah's like, this is not good. Like, red flags start going off. I'm sure she was worried before then, but now she's like, okay. this has to do with like the job. Like he's not responding to me. Like he didn't do the job. So she's super worried. She calls her husband's phone like 30 times that day, like the entire day. Eventually somebody did answer. Eventually there was an answer.
Whether you're a team of 1 or 1,000, Bo Digital can help make your marketing goals a reality.
Let's be honest, most of us who run our own businesses need help in the marketing category. Either you have no clue what an algorithm is or you just don't have time to mess with it, Bo can help you with that. They offer an a la carte menu of marketing services where you can take what you need. It can be your website, your socials, newsletters, or even blogs. Bo can help you take some of it off your plate and free up time for you to focus more on the things that you love. I personally use Bo Digital in my own small business, and I love them and the team that they have and the knowledge that they possess is far beyond anything that I could do on my own. If you're looking to grow your business, you have to put a bow on it. You can reach out to them on their website, bowdigital.com, or on Facebook, BOWE digital.com. Unfortunately, it was not David who answered his cell phone. It was the voice of a woman. Before you get all, knife and pitchfork about it, it was a police officer woman. It wasn't just
Gee whiz. I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah, it wasn't just like a woman and Sarah's like, I'm gonna kill you. No, Jeez. It was a female police officer, and she informed Sarah that they had found David's truck, his wallet, and his phone on the side of the road, but David, they could not find him. He was not there. That call was around 4:30 p.m. that day. So he was supposed to be home like 4:30 a.m. probably, and he's 4:30 p.m. He's not here. The truck, to their surprise, after talking to Sarah and like figuring out, what his last steps were in his moves and what he was supposed to be doing that day, it was actually facing the opposite direction of where he was supposed to be heading.
What the heck? Didn't you say he's done this before, right?
Yeah, this path. And so they, like you just said, they knew the path. He knew the path. They were able to figure out that this truck was facing the opposite direction of where he should have been heading. So they immediately were able to get some dogs out to the truck to track David's path. Like, because they're like,
not a lot going in Iowa for them to.
Probably not.
Police like, this is our chance.
Yeah. And so they're like, let's see. He obviously left this truck, so let's see where he went. And so the dogs did. They immediately picked up his scent in the truck, and they followed it a short while, is what the police reports say and everything, to a field drive.
I assume that's like a dirt road, maybe you're like by a field or.
I have no idea. I don't know if anyone in Iowa.
That's what the police report says right there.
It literally, they use the word a field drive. Yeah. And so if you're in Iowa,
just Google the definition and it's not giving me anything.
I'm assuming it's a driveway in a field where you can like pull your tractor off the road and like go in there. Like we have those here and I just call it like a pull off, but whatever. So the Iowa State Patrol actually put up their drones like immediately. I mean, they were on it. They had
nothing
their dogs.
Else to do in Iowa. They got everybody out there.
They were on it with their dogs and their drones, and they started searching the area, and they were looking for heat signatures. Did not find any. This is like this is like that day.
Yeah.
So obviously police go and they're like, we gotta backtrack here. We need to know what his last movements were. What happened the night before. So Sarah said around 7:30 p.m. he was in a hurry to get on the road. He had only ran home. He was going to grab a quick shower, grab a bite to eat, and he was going to be in Eagle Grove at 10:30. He was supposed to pick the pigs up at 10:30. And so he was in a hurry. He stored the truck at his buddy's shop, so he would have to go there, park his truck, and then load up and drive the semi the hour and a half ish.
2 hours, yeah.
Whatever it takes the semi to get 85 miles.
Sure.
At first I thought it was odd that he was in a hurry to make the drive, because I'm thinking 7:30 to 10:30, we got 3 hours. Why
3 hours to make an hour and a half, 2 hour drive.
But like I said, I'm assuming he just was in a hurry because he wanted to shower and eat, and he had to.
Then he had to actually drive.
Yeah, the semi wasn't at his house. He had to go to his buddy's house, park his truck, get in. I mean, if I'm driving a semi truck, I've got like my water bottle and my snacks and my bag. I got to load up my truck.
Yeah.
And so I think I don't find that weird anymore, especially because I bet
I'm with you.
I bet it took him longer than an hour and a half.
Like, let's say it takes him 2 hours.
Yeah. And like,
and
I don't know if he needed to get gas or anything.
To get to your buddies.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm not worried
I don't
about
find
the
that
timeline.
weird anymore.
I don't either. I'm with you.
Yeah. It might have been pushing it, actually, which explains why he was in a hurry. Like, if you think about it, if he needed gas or something, I don't know. Also, like, do you have to start something up and let it run for a minute? I don't know if you can just get in it and go. Like,
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I just
but
feel
Sarah
like
said,
an hour seems like a safe time to be like, that's what you have to do to get your semi ready.
Yeah, right?
Especially when you have to drive to your buddy's house.
Yeah, I've never driven to semi. I never want to. So anyway, Sarah said that he got out of the shower, kissed the grandkids because her son... Andrea, why did I just say Andrea? Sarah's son was there with his kids visiting. And so this is really sad actually. He kissed the grandkids and he was walking out and the son said, "Hey, what about me?" Like the adult son, joking. And he said, "I'll get you tomorrow." And he walked out the door.
Ouch.
Yeah. So the farm in Eagle Grove actually reported that he was 20 minutes late picking up the pigs.
I mean, it made sense to me a minute ago that he would be late.
Yeah,
I guess I'm not that shocked by that, I guess.
So he picked up his load of pigs at 10:50. He was supposed to be there at 10:30, picking up at 10:50. The last driver to leave that round of livestock that night. He was the last one.
Oh, it makes sense. They probably had like thousands of pigs and like multiple trucks.
Yeah, going all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he was the last one there. So they were probably annoyed that he went there at 10:30 because they want to go home. He was then seen at 11:15 p.m. on an Iowa Department of Transportation camera. Law enforcement said that based off of that camera, it is very unlikely that there was someone else in the truck with him.
So he's by himself.
So that's good. He's by himself. So
can you imagine how boring those cameras are? It's like, guys, we saw a truck today.
Yeah, probably. A truck with pigs is probably absolutely nothing either.
Jeez.
So
by himself.
Yeah, so like up until now at 11:15, like nothing's out of the ordinary. The 20-minute late thing, I live my life going places 20 minutes late, so that's not a big deal. So, and it would have been very weird if there was someone else with him, but there wasn't. They said it was a pretty clear view. Like they were very confident that there was nobody in that truck with him. The cell phone data shows that he got to Highway 20 and Highway 71 intersection. From what I read, he was supposed to go south, but instead he went north. 20 minutes later, the truck was parked, and it was in the same spot it was found at the next day at 4:30.
What the heck?
So, like, did he make a wrong turn? And then
I've
20
made
minutes
wrong turns before, and it took me less than 20
minutes.
minutes.
And then 20 minutes later, he was like, "Oh crap!" I mean, it was late.
Yeah,
it's Iowa. Everything probably looks the friggin' same.
Probably,
but
fair.
He had done it so many times.
That's what I'm going. That's what I keep going back.
That's
to.
what I'm thinking. Like, how did he? Yeah.
Also, at 12:15, I mean, you've been on the road for almost an hour and a half. Like, you'd be like almost there.
11:15 was when he saw the camera.
Right, but he left the other place that we said is like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's more than halfway home. He's like almost there.
Yes. So his truck was found like 45 minutes from his home, his house. Like, yeah, he made half the drive back.
What the heck? Why making wrong turns?
So
why does it take you 20 minutes to figure that out?
So over the next few days and weeks, searches were like hopping over Sac County.
Everybody in Iowa had something to do.
Yeah. I mean, they were like, "I'm in. Yeah, we have nothing else to do." Drones, cadaver dogs, volunteers, every resource in the criminal world that they had was out there helping. Looking for David.
Respect.
Over 100,000 acres was searched.
Geez.
Yes. And on December 2nd, 2023, they found a body. Are you looking to buy or sell in 2024? Let Amber White help you find your home sweet home. Amber is a local realtor to the Kokomo and Howard County area, and when I say she knows her stuff, she knows her stuff. When we decided to move closer to family, I literally messaged Amber and told her I wanted to sell my house, and then later I want to buy this house, and she made it all happen. Buying and selling is such an overwhelming process, but Amber seriously took care of every single step and eliminated all the stress for us. Her knowledge was invaluable, and while I say I never want to move again, I know exactly who to call if we decide to. Follow her on Facebook at Amber White, Realtor /broker with Carrie Gruhl and Associates, or you can give her a call at 765-865-1118. The United Cajun Navy had been looking, so like that's another like agency that was working. Yeah. I have no idea what the United Cajun Navy is, but they were out there helping in a helicopter. Just kidding. Not a helicopter. How are they looking?
I don't know.
It doesn't say how they were looking. They were looking.
When I think Navy, I think like boats.
There's no boats in Iowa.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why we have the Navy in Iowa at all.
Because the Iowa Navy has nothing else to do, I guess. I don't know. It says they were helping search the area. I don't know why I said helicopter. I'm pregnant. They were looking around.
Pictured it in your head and made it true.
They might have been riding a pig or a horse or a ATV, walking around. I don't know. They find a body, okay?
Wow.
Not David, but the body of another missing person from the area.
So we're closing cases at least.
So they're closing cases out here. Mark Reisberg had not had any contact with anyone since October 28th when he was reported missing. And he was found in his PT Cruiser with a self-inflicted gunshot wound in the search for David.
Wow.
Yeah. Sad. Terrible.
Very sad.
There has not been a single clue reported as to where David is. Where he could be.
100,000 acres.
Searched thoroughly.
I mean,
thoroughly searched.
So he's not there.
I don't know.
How could he be there?
So, I mean, I don't know. I have to agree. I don't think he could be there because the dogs picked his scent up from the truck and followed it a short distance and then just stopped. I think he would have had to have gotten into a vehicle and left the area.
Had to have.
Because had he...
Or somebody loaded him into a vehicle.
Yeah, you know? I mean, the thing, like...
what else justifies a scent dying?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know, if you go over
we're literally finding other missing people. Like, where is he?
you go over the scenarios of like, okay, mental breakdown. He made a wrong turn. He was lost. He had no idea where he was. He gets out of his car. Okay, we follow a scent until we find a body. Or we follow a scent to a body of water. Or we follow a scent to a cistern that he fell into. You know what I mean? Something. Like there's something. He doesn't just stop.
Right.
Just I think of Brandon Swanson, like the dogs followed his scent trail to a river, you know, and it's like that at least gives us a clue of like he probably fell in the water or something, but like this was just a random, like it completely stopped, and it stopped on that drive where a vehicle would have been. You think of a health emergency, maybe he was sick or had a heart attack or was getting sick and, you know, went to go puke on the side of we still find him.
Sure.
Like, it's just so crazy to me. Like I said, no clues have been reported as to where he's at. The police have no conclusive evidence that there was foul play. Like, there's no blood. It doesn't look
right.
Like... they have no evidence that he wasn't, no evidence that there was or wasn't. And they have no... evidence that there was any sort of other, like I said, there was no health emergency.
Like no motive for anybody else.
Sarah, his wife, believes that there's no way he left his life behind because people are going to say that.
If there's no evidence.
And there's a few reasons that I believe her. Because I think that's one of my fascinations with any missing person case. You know, you could just decide. That's always a possibility no matter what. It could be he just decided, you know what, screw it. I'm leaving. You know, and if I do that, it's going to be before Valentine's Day. But just so you know. However, Sarah's she had a son and daughter. Her daughter with her kids, so the grandkids, were set to arrive the next day for a visit. They lived in Fort Lauderdale. And so they didn't get to see them a lot. And David was really looking forward to spending time with them. He had also just recently bought himself a new semi-truck, and he was working on it. It required a little work, and so him and his buddy had been working on the truck, and all he had left to do was install new headlights, and he was really excited to like get out of his current, like he had a red truck, and he was getting a new yellow one. He was fixing it up, and it was going to be able to sell the old one and make like a significant chunk of change.
Yeah, it's a big payday to be able to sell a semi-truck. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. So he's working on that. He's excited about it. And then you have to think too, like looking at your stepson, who you consider a son, and saying, I'll get you tomorrow, knowing that you're about to leave and never come. Like, you wouldn't say that.
No.
You would have stopped and gave him a hug.
And maybe been in a less of a hurry if it was like your last
Exactly.
time. Like,
so none of those scenarios, believe me, or
that doesn't sound like running away behavior.
It doesn't lead me to believe he ran away at all. Medical issue, I thought of that.
But you'd find a body,
You'd find a body. Like, I think
like the hospital, like like if he was having a medical emergency, like did somebody pick him up and take him to the hospital and then decide,
exactly,
like, you know
he
what, I'm a serial killer instead? Like, I don't know.
No.
Like, that's crazy.
The other thing that I was kind of surprised by was that this semi sat on the side of the road for 16 hours before somebody...
Yeah, because they said the phone record said that he got there at like 12:40 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they found at 4:30. That's 16 hours.
Yeah.
Good job. So I was there. Good job.
I did the math for that.
I'm proud of you. I mean, I don't know. Like, what? How long?
I don't know. I was gonna ask Brock. He's a friend of ours that's a cop. Like, is it normal if you see, like, what's police protocol? But then I was like, the Iowa police protocol is probably different than our police protocol. But, like, what's protocol? Like, if you see a semi on the side of the road, do police typically stop and check it out, right?
I'm sure your first round, you'd be like, oh, he might be resting his eyes. The second round, you'd be like, what the heck?
Yeah, but do police in Iowa even pass a semi twice?
That's true. I don't know.
Here, like, Brock on one...
If you were on 31...
If Brock was on a shift in Kokomo... He probably passes the same places many times, but in Iowa, in the county that big, it's probably like you make one round and then you're done with your shift. So I don't know. It just felt like a long time for me to not get checked out, but who knows?
Yeah.
Regardless, his body wasn't there when they did check it out.
Yeah.
There was nothing there. Like I said, medical emergency, he would have ended up in a hospital or he would have wandered away and... You know, they would have found him. I have to think too. Well, I guess the heat signature. If he would have wandered away and
when you mentioned that, I looked it up and it says when you die, your body drops like 1 to 2 degrees per hour.
Look at you.
So like, even 12 hours, 16 hours later, like it'd still be hot enough to pick up on a heat signature.
Real? Would it be?
Yeah, I mean you'd still
because they had drones in the air that night.
Yeah. I mean, you'd still be like
less than 24 hours after something happened. If he let's say he had a heart attack, got out of his truck, and wandered away at 12:40 in the morning.
Yeah, you'd still be like 70 degrees,
and they would be able to pick that
up.
up.
Everything else is cold because it's February. So like
it was November.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It's still
it's cold in Iowa in November, right?
Yeah. So like everything else would be cold.
That's so medical emergency. I rule medical emergency out. I rule a mental issue out because I still think you would have found him.
Yeah.
Probably pretty easier than if he had a medical emergency.
If it was a mental situation, he wouldn't be dead, at least not as fast.
He wouldn't died. He would have still just been wandering around probably
would have
or
been
something.
Even easier to find.
Yes. I can't get over those dogs getting a scent and then it just stopping a short and it says in the police report a short distance from the truck.
I feel like he had to have gotten in some other vehicle or something.
Had to. I should say too, the truck was in perfect working order. There was gas in it and it started right up. Because I was thinking like, okay, hitchhiking. Like what if, you probably feel pretty safe hitchhiking. I will never hitchhike, but in Iowa, I mean, maybe 53-year-old dude, like maybe
other 9 people in your county.
Exactly. Like, so maybe he had car trouble. That was my first thing, car trouble. Nope, truck worked fine. The other thing... So the other thing was his wallet. I told you they found his wallet, right?
Yeah.
His phone worked and it was in there. His wallet was on the dash. So Sarah said that he started every week with $2,000 cash in his wallet.
Dang.
Kept it in his wallet or on the dash or in his pocket. Like, don't advise on that, but It's Iowa, whatever. The cash, and he just kept it because he had to put gas in these big trucks.
Sure.
He
Things
just like
getting dinner.
And so it was all the cash was still there.
So, like, it wasn't a robbery.
Nobody robbed him. His phone and his wallet were right there in the truck. They found it.
Well, see, that's the other thing, too, though. If you're leaving, like, if you're like, oh, I'm going to go get in that truck over there, like, you take your phone. Unless you're having, like, a medical emergency. Yeah,
if you had car trouble, you take your phone and your wallet because you're about to have to pay for your truck to be towed or something.
Yeah. What the heck,
It literally,
what the heck?
None of it makes sense. I can't
If you were going to disappear, you'd take the $2,000 cash.
Yeah, I can't find an angle that, like, make it make sense for me.
There's nothing.
Like, please,
nothing has made sense.
I'm asking other people that are listening to Missing Midwest right now to make this make sense for me because this happened in November. His wife and kids, like, they are still actively looking. Can you imagine? He's 45 minutes from your house.
Yeah.
Like, that's where his truck was found. Like, I would feel the need to be out there searching every single day.
This has been 3 months.
They searched. They're still searching. I mean,
also,
and they did. They had horses.
Why did he turn north?
Yeah, I know. I know. Make it make sense to me. I cannot. There is no puzzle piece that fits in here that makes everything that happened make sense. Like, all of it, every single, I literally went through and I wrote out all of my theories. None of them work. Medical, mental, car trouble, leaving his life behind. None of it makes sense. And I just literally, my heart goes out to his wife and those two boys. Like, our boys aren't that far from 10. Like, if you just didn't come home from work one day, how do you even move on? Especially when you have such a mess and a mystery like that. Like,
wild.
Yeah. So, did you know the Jefferson House of Flowers has been a local Kokomo florist for almost 100 years? Our trained designers make beautiful arrangements for literally any occasion. You can send flowers for any reason. Birthdays, anniversaries, get well, congratulations. The list goes on. We make flowers for funerals, weddings, proposals, and even proms. Let's be honest. Receiving flowers, whether you're at home or at your work, it makes you feel special. You get butterflies and you feel loved, and that's what sending flowers is all about, the feeling that it creates. Call us at 765-452-8269 and let us create something special and send it out for you. Or you can stop in and see us at 4300 West, 100 North Kokomo. We always have a cooler full of flowers that are ready to go, as well as a boutique full of gifts. Shop local, support local, and send flowers. Sac County, Iowa. Literally happening right now. There's a Facebook page that you can join with updates in the David Schultz case. I'll post a picture of him. He looks so nice. He just looks so, normal and just, I don't know.
That's bonkers. I mean, What the heck? I'm like, there's no, I can't imagine being like a detective in this situation.
Right.
Like, there's nothing.
Yeah.
I guess they could have stuff they haven't released to the public.
Yeah.
But like, based on the details,
based on what they've said, like, I think they're just as like, what the hell? Like, as everybody else, because they're like,
I'm looking at different articles.
Like, nobody was in the car.
This police officer was like, we have the volunteers. Like, if there was more places to search, we'd search them immediately. We have no idea.
They searched everywhere.
Yeah.
This was
100,000 acres. That is wild.
Well,
there's literally nothing else to do in Iowa.
I'm like, if I was the family, I'd be like, I don't need you to search 100,000 acres. I want you to search like the 50 acres around his truck. Like, they probably searched those better. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they started at the truck and worked their way out.
Like, yeah.
And they had like horses on the ground. Horses can get places.
I'm a believer in dogs.
Me too. And the dogs, I can play devil's advocate with dogs. They can screw up. But like, that was a pretty basic.
They had drones. They had drones in the air,
and it was more than one dog. So it wasn't like one dog. Like, there was more than one dog picked up his scent from the truck and followed it to the exact same spot. The drones were flying. Horses can get into like way more, complex places than cars or people that can even walk. They had ATVs. Just like literally everything. The freaking Cajun Navy of Iowa, like whatever they do, like they were out there. They found somebody else that was missing. And the family, there was like a reward out to find that person.
Yeah.
And they actually bought new bikes for the 10-year-old twins because they were just felt so bad. Like, they were searching for your dad and they found our family member. And so it's just like, ugh, I hate it.
So I thought this was interesting. When I Googled David Schultz, there's other David Schultz. There's like a hockey player. There's a amateur wrestler.
Okay.
And so apparently there was like huge conspiracies because the same day somebody booked a flight from like Minnesota to somewhere, and everybody's like, there, he's in Minnesota. But it was like this other like David Schultz. Like there's other David Schultz out there, and like geez, the conspiracy theories can go crazy with this one. I'm sure there's an alien camp out there.
Literally, I didn't say it because I didn't want anyone to judge me, or more specifically you. But like, it looks like, the aliens just like.
I'm not an alien believer.
Sucking him up from that exact spot in that whatever field drive it is makes more sense than anything else.
I was going to say I'm not an alien advocate whatsoever, but it makes more sense than these other ones.
So please listen to this episode. Give me your theory. Like I said, make it make sense for me. Find a theory that fits all that information I just gave you.
This is like a case where like I actually don't know that somebody knows something.
Yeah, someone. I think the someone that knows something is the someone that took David.
I guess there you go. I guess there is the foul play theory. It wasn't a robbery.
Yeah, and the police are like adamant. They're like, listen, like. There is no foul play.
Oh man!
Based off of what we had.
What if it's like a misery situation? Like he was having a medical emergency.
Oh gosh!
And she picked him up.
Check all of the crazy people that live by themselves in the middle of Sac County in a shack.
Now I'm creeped out extra.
That
I
is
feel like
creepy,
maybe that's
actually.
it. He had like a asthma attack or fell asleep. Was like, oh, I'm just gonna go on a walk
and
to wake up.
Now both of his ankles are broken and he's tied to a bed somewhere.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
My misery. Oh no.
But we're at that point where. We're at
the point. If you have a medical emergency, stay in your car.
He didn't try, and that's the other thing. He didn't try to call in for help if he did have a medical emergency.
That's another point too.
So freaking.
Why did he turn north?
Guys. Why did he turn north? Was it a mistake? It could mean nothing. He could have just simply made a wrong turn. I don't know. So let me know though. Comment. I'll post a picture of David and I'll post that Facebook group. And I don't know. Be careful driving through Sac County.
Jeez. This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I.